They were minus 20 at the break, just minus 4 overall in the second half, which is a good number for the Golden State Warriors. 15 turnovers there. They shoot nearly 50% from the floor, 42 from 3. You love to see the 32 assists, and the Warriors win by 9. Let's hear from the start of the show, Stephen Curry.
Just got some clean looks and then understood what they were trying to do defensively and taking advantage of switches. And then we played great defense for most of that quarter, which gave us some transition opportunities too, and I was able to run. Beat the defense where they get set up, so they usually plays into our hands. Thankfully, shots went in and gave us a lot of momentum, and that group that started the fourth did a great job to capitalize and hold them to 18 in the fourth. No matter how many points you score, you're going to win a lot of games that way.
This is the third time in the past couple of weeks that Draymond has either gotten ejected or kind of left a game early, and you guys played really well after each three. How do you kind of square that?
We won the game. That's all we care about. That's all he cares about. I know he'd rather be out there. I don't know what he said to the ref, but I didn't think it was, or the consensus in the locker room was it wasn't enough to get thrown out.
Without Draymond, what were some of the adjustments you guys made at halftime to sort of mitigate his loss?
I just ran a lot of pick and roll, kept it pretty simple. Like I said, I understood what they were trying to do defensively, whether it was a contained blitz or they were just going to switch and put the big on me. And you're able to kind of have a predictable offense that way. It was less chaos, off-ball action with me. So necessary adjustment with him out.
Steph, we know what Melt can do defensively, but how nice was it to see his three-point shot going early as well?
We know he can shoot, and there's no worry about that. You realize how much time he's had off in his injury, so it's a matter of time for him to get his rhythm. And the one thing about him, he's gonna keep shooting. That's the best part of a guy that understands who he is, what he can do, and don't let misses, linger in your head. You just keep shooting.
Personally, do you like the look-away three or the logo three more?
They're both great. They're both great.
Steph, you and your dad passed the Shazes officially tonight for most games.
Who?
The Shazes, Dolphin Danny.
Oh, yeah. I heard what you said. Just keep going.
What does that one mean to you out of the things that you've accomplished already?
One, I'm mad at Raymond. He didn't tell me that when I left the court, so I could be prepared for that answer because I didn't know that was a thing. But it's cool, just longevity and the family business being in this game. Yeah, my brother's points, it's even better. So pretty special for the Curry family as a whole, knowing that he played for 16 years. I'm in my 17th year, still trying to do it. And, yeah, dream come true, to be honest.
Next game, you'll be 2 games ahead of them.
There we go.
So in that third quarter, after 17 years in the league, does that count for you as a dunk at this stage of your career?
I was joking with the whole bench because last year in Philly, I said that was my last dunk. And then I surprised myself when I got in the air that I was high enough. And then I made my mind up at the end. I was going to try to turn it over. So I'm going to count it just because who knows how many chances I get. But I have to ask the locker room if they agree with me or not.
Steve was, pretty upset with a few of the turnovers tonight. It's not like it was some crazy turnover night, but that aspect of the game seems to be wearing on him a little bit. How much do you just view that as like kind of the biggest problem that you guys continually need to solve?
It's been a talking point for a decade. The way that we play, we know that there's going to be turnovers because we like to pass the ball. We, have a lot of organized chaos with off-ball movement and all that type of stuff. It is just the type of turnovers you're going to have some. You never want anybody out there second-guessing or playing passive or, timid to make a play. but it's the ones that are kind of mindless or just lead to, easy, uncontested points on the other end that kill momentum. And no matter how great a defense you play, if you do that 3, 4, 5 times, it's hard to overcome. So we had maybe 3 or 4 of those where there's no resistance from the defense. We're just turning the ball over. Those are the ones that are always going to get him red in the face. But overall, I think we've been doing a lot better the last couple of weeks, even if the numbers are still relatively the same.
You guys are 6-2 in the last 8. Does it feel like, you're generating momentum?
Yeah, obviously last night was rough. The Toronto game was rough, but you do have to remember, where we were a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and what's ahead in terms of, opportunity to put, string wins together. But I think our morale is pretty high, and, we're playing hard and competing. But we'll see what happens after this game in LA and this homestand we have.
Steph, here on your right, year 17, you played nearly every second of that third quarter. Then you had 20. You got, the vibes going. But are you running on fumes at that point? How do you feel after a quarter like that where you play basically the whole way? And do you like Steve letting you play basically the whole quarter?
Yeah, it was a great feel tonight. Sometimes, he has to make a decision, looking at time to score, looking at rotations and Draymond out and all that type of thing. But it's really all mental. Pretty resilient, able to adjust to how the game is going. Even though you're giving everything you got, you can still pace yourself, recover during timeouts, all that type of stuff. So I never really worry about it too much. I do love to keep going if I got a hot hand. That's, what every player wants, especially if you got a rhythm like that. So and then managing the game in the fourth quarter, knowing that they were going to try to take me out of it, but just playing under control, finish the game, and I knew I did enough in the third to get us to the win.
Stephen Curry, 34 minutes tonight. Team high, 31 points as the Warriors have won 6 of their last 8 games during this critical juncture of the season. Of course, Monday night, they'll take on the L.A. Clippers down in L.A. for their lone road game during this stretch. They won't have to leave the state of California until January 20th. But with that said, let's talk about Draymond Green, who's having a fine night before he was ejected late in the second quarter. 8 points, 3 or 4 from the floor, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Hit the 3-point shot right there, 1 of 2, but ejected there. So they were able to rally despite Draymond Green getting booted from this game, Mully.
Yeah, and this was a pretty quick ejection, Bonte, so not a lot of theatrics. So it must have said the magic word or two to get ejected, because we thought he had one technical, was walking to the locker room to cool down.
Here it is right here, Mully.
Yeah, this was, I think he wanted a 3-second call, and then I think there was obviously some dialogue there, and he got, and then I think he got a check from number 81, and then that's Kevin Cutler there on the baseline.
Kevin Cutler, yep.
We thought he was going to the locker room to cool off, but David Tedler, our producer, told him he was ejected. But the Warriors did rally. And we've seen consistently Steve Kerr early in the game take Jimmy Butler out.
Yep.
To not have him and Draymond so Jimmy could get a bulk of his minutes with that second unit. That's been working. Jimmy Butler, to me, is a very similar player to Draymond. Great passer. You can play him in the mid-post. You can use him as a trail big, and he can run as a point forward from the top of the floor. He's always going to get you 20 points. So Steve Kerr is really working those minutes. He obviously wants Steph and Draymond together, so because Draymond can dissect that defense, and if they're top block, and him and Steph have such great chemistry. But the key is Jimmy Butler's minutes, making sure that he has the ball in his hands early and often to either score for himself, get to the free throw line, or probably more importantly, get the bench players that get their confidence going. So I think tonight was a really important game for guys like Quinten Post, GP2. I thought he played a beautiful game tonight. He almost had a double-double with 9 rebounds, but I thought he played great in the middle. That spot that Draymond plays a lot when they double Steph, making good reads, making nice passes. He had an alley-oop pass. So I thought the bench, once again, we talked about Charlotte and Brooklyn. They picked up right where they left off. They've got the momentum now.
No doubt.
So if QP can get going and start knocking down those threes, all of a sudden they are building momentum. And they got a nice home-friendly schedule coming. So this, as you said, Bonte, this is the pivotal point in the season to stack wins and really start feeling good about yourself.
Brandon Pinjinski, 8-6 off that bench in 24 minutes. Trace Jackson-Davis with 9 points and 6 rebounds. But you brought up Jimmy Butler. He was feeling under the weather yesterday, missed a game against Oklahoma City. He was questionable earlier today. With Jimmy Buckets, he does what he has done all season. 15 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 of 9 from the floor, but 6 of 8 from the free throw line. And what you just said there, Mully, Steve Kerr is pulling him from the game about 3.5, 4 minutes into it to let him play with that second unit later in the first quarter and into that second frame.
No question. Jimmy Butler's been sensational all season long. 19 points per game, 52 from the field, 42 from the three-point line. We saw the one-legged three-point shot there. Just another efficient, impactful game by Jimmy. And, you know, tonight is a great game to come back because this is the worst defensive team in the league, but it doesn't matter to Jimmy Butler. Yep. The defense does not stop him. He's just got a great feel for the game. He can play inside out, and he's done a great job, I think, of mixing up his attack. You know, if they put a big on him, we've seen him attack early with the straight line drives, and a lot of times they like to set bat screens and get that switch, and then he just punches people in the post.
He also took on the challenge of defending Lauri Markkanen in that second half, forcing a couple turnovers there, although Markkanen did end up with 35 points. Jimmy Butler playing well on both sides of the floor. Also, QP3, we can't talk enough about him. 15 points in the starting role, 6 of 9 from the floor, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Then he stopped by for a little one-on-one with the Pride of Yales, Unikata.
Big win today. Really great way to turn the page after that OKC win. Felt like the ball was hopping. Everybody was on the boards. What were the vibes coming into tonight?
I mean, I think as a group we did a good job of shrugging off yesterday. That's the, you know, back-to-backs are tough for your body, obviously, but mentally it's also, you know, you're back on the court in less than 24 hours. So it was good to shrug that off and then to get out there, play some decent ball, and get the win. Decent ball. It was great ball for sure, being able to get that win out. Thinking about the fact that you guys were down 7 at the half, being able to go into the third quarter with a 42-point third quarter, and then Stephen Curry dropping 20. I want to know, as someone that gets to play with him, gets to go to practice with him, is there a moment you're ever surprised at what he's capable of? I mean, he can just flip the switch, you know. Like it's really crazy to see. Like he can just impose his will on a game like that, and he loves the big moments, and you can just kind of see how he turns it on. And I mean, that's experience, and that's just, you know, he's just that dude. So it's very cool to see.
For sure. And now thinking about, this is a win that can definitely help your confidence going into this home stretch. You guys are at home, being able to relax a little bit. For you, what's most important for you to try to get down while you're playing in these games that are coming up and trying to get a little bit of a buffer for the Warriors?
Yeah, we just need to have our mental right. It's a lot of games in not that many days, but it's a great stretch for us to be at home, get our bodies right, and you know, make it a great couple of weeks before we hit the road again.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for stopping.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good stuff, Zena. Raymond, get out of the way. I'm trying to see Steve Kerr, not you, Mr. Ritter. Toyota drive ahead, and the Warriors are going to get on a plane. And then it'll be back at Chase Center for the next 8 games after that. What you don't see on the calendar is a back-to-back with the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors. But the Clippers, they had their 6-game winning streak snapped today at the hands of the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown dropped 50. That's right, 50 points against Kawhi Leonard and company. But this is a good matchup. Remember, the Clippers won all 4 last season. Warriors did get them earlier in the season in the first couple weeks at Chase Center. But the Clippers will be looking to gain some ground. And then, of course, the Bucks, the Kings, who are just an absolute mess. They'll see what happens a couple weeks from now, where they have the Hawks, Blazers, and the Knicks. But it's all about the Clippers. The Clippers got off to a 6-21 start, Mully. Won 6 in a row. Setback tonight against the Boston Celtics. But they match up well with the Warriors. Zubac is back, and he's had some monster games against the Dubs.
Zubac is back. He's a double-double machine. Gives the Warriors big-time problems on the offensive glass, deep post catches. But the biggest difference, Bonte, has been the health and availability of Kawhi Leonard. He's been incredible during this run. He's been able to play over 30 minutes per game. He had a huge 55-point game. I think he had 31 or 32 against the Kings, and then came back with 45. So it's all about Kawhi and James Harden. And when they're healthy and playing well, I think with Zubac's back, this becomes a tough game.
And they play at a slower pace. So when you turn the ball over, it really gets difficult against the Clippers. Your possessions go down, your field goal attempts go down. So doing what they did in the second half tonight against Utah, that's going to be imperative against the Clippers.
Yeah, they're going to try and control tempo, as you said, playing the half court, and then also rebounding because of Zubac's size. So once again, the fundamentals, taking care of the basketball, defensive rebounding, and then generating good shots on the offensive end.
A great night at Chase Center. Stephen Curry erupts in the third quarter. The Warriors drop 42 to flip this basketball game, and they get back on track. Dubs Talk Live is next.